What if humanity had never crossed the borders of Africa? What if early Homo sapiens had remained on their home continent, never migrating into Europe, Asia, or the Americas? Imagine a world where civilizations, cultures, and technology all evolved in one place, densely packed and hyper-interconnected. Without migration, human innovation accelerates differently. Societies rise and fall under unique pressures, and the entire planet's history is rewritten. In this video, we'll explore a reality where migration never occurred, following humanity's journey through 5 major eras: the Stone Age, the Continental Bronze Age, the Age of Empires, the Industrial Acceleration, and the Modern plus Future era. We'll see how a single divergence could reshape everything we know: technology, politics, culture, and even the survival of the species. Lean back, imagine the possibilities, and enjoy this alternate timeline. Imagine humanity confined entirely within Africa, never leaving its birthplace. Vast savannas, dense forests, and mighty rivers become the cradle of a single, hyper-diverse Homo sapiens population. Without migration, competition drives innovation at an unprecedented pace. Communities experiment with tools, fire, and early shelters, sharing discoveries across generations. Communication evolves rapidly, fostering cooperation between groups. The absence of external hominins like Neanderthals or Denisovans allows humans to dominate all ecological niches. Africa becomes a laboratory of survival, invention, and social complexity. Early humans developed strategies to thrive in diverse environments, from deserts to jungles, concentrating technological progress in one supercontinent. Resource scarcity and environmental challenges force early humans to innovate collectively. Hunting large game requires coordinated strategies, while gathering techniques refine nutritional knowledge. Fire mastery becomes ubiquitous, enabling safer settlements and more efficient cooking. Tool-making evolves into intricate craftsmanship, with sharpened blades, spearheads, and cutting-edge stone technology centuries ahead of our timeline. Communities develop proto-leadership and shared responsibilities, ensuring survival through collaboration. Population density grows, creating hubs of cultural exchange. Art emerges in cave paintings and carvings, reflecting both spiritual and practical life. Knowledge spreads faster than in scattered populations, laying the groundwork for proto-scientific thinking and long-term planning. Language develops as a sophisticated system of communication, blending vocalization, gestures, and early symbolic notation. Knowledge of seasons, animal behavior, and plant cycles is meticulously passed down. Communities maintain structured hierarchies to coordinate hunting, construction, and defense. Early agriculture experiments begin along fertile rivers, complementing hunting and gathering. Dense human networks enable the invention of basic trade and bartering systems within tribes and between neighboring groups. Cultural traditions become deeply embedded, creating cohesion and shared identity. The concentration of humans fosters intense problem-solving, innovation, and social learning, which accelerates technological and cultural development far beyond the scattered early human societies of our timeline. Over tens of thousands of years, settlements expand, connecting distant regions across Africa. Proto-villages become fortified communities, learning to manage water, food, and safety collectively. Knowledge about tool-making, fire, and early agriculture spread swiftly through dense social networks. Intertribal cooperation enhances survival, while localized conflicts drive defensive innovations. Early symbolic systems evolve into complex communication, marking territories, events, and agreements. Oral history and storytelling preserve ancestral wisdom. Innovation becomes a continuous cycle. One breakthrough inspires another across the continent. The isolation from other continents focuses evolutionary pressure entirely on African Homo sapiens, producing a uniquely resilient, inventive, and unified population, ready to face the challenges of the emerging Bronze Age. By 4000 BCE, Africa has developed the first proto-civilizations in fertile river valleys and resource-rich regions. Settlements grow into dense population centers with advanced food storage, social hierarchies, and early governance systems. Agricultural practices stabilize, allowing surplus and trade to flourish. Crafts, art, and spiritual traditions are intertwined with practical survival skills, producing culturally rich communities. Knowledge is preserved, refined, and transmitted across generations through oral traditions, symbolic marks, and early writing attempts. Humanity, concentrated and interconnected, thrives under environmental pressure and social collaboration. Africa emerges as the sole epicenter of human development, setting the stage for a continental Bronze Age far ahead of our historical timeline. Trade and exchange networks expand, connecting distant settlements across rivers, valleys, and plateaus. Early humans begin to specialize in tasks. Some focus on tool making, others on food storage, hunting techniques, or artistic expression. Knowledge of medicinal plants and natural remedies spreads rapidly, improving survival rates. Social norms develop to manage disputes, marriages, and resource allocation. Communities experiment with early engineering, basic levees, simple water channels, and shelters built to withstand seasonal floods. The cumulative effect of these innovations creates a continent-wide acceleration of human progress, far beyond the isolated development seen in scattered populations elsewhere in history. Spiritual and cultural life deepens as humans observe natural cycles, celestial movements, and animal behavior. Rituals and storytelling become central to social cohesion, preserving history and ethics. Complex social hierarchies emerge, balancing leadership, cooperation, and accountability. Warfare, when it occurs, is strategic, pushing advancements in defensive structures, weapons, and communal planning. Dense population hubs foster early forms of governance, proto-laws, and conflict resolution mechanisms. The continent becomes a living laboratory of human ingenuity, where trial and error drive rapid evolution of technology, society, and culture. This concentrated innovation lays the foundation for more advanced civilizations. Artistic expression flourishes alongside functional innovations. Cave paintings, carvings, and early musical instruments become markers of identity and communication. Symbols are used to record events, trade agreements, and genealogies, hinting at the first steps toward writing systems. Education becomes informal but effective, with elders and skilled individuals teaching younger generations essential skills. Human adaptation is accelerated by environmental pressures. Droughts, predators, and shifting climates challenge communities to innovate continuously. The combination of cooperation, specialization, and cultural depth creates a uniquely advanced human population, entirely centered in Africa, with the seeds of continental dominance planted for the future. Population density encourages experimentation with agriculture along fertile river valleys, creating surplus food and reducing nomadic reliance. Domestication of plants and animals begins centuries earlier, than in our timeline. Storage methods for grains and dried foods improve, supporting larger communities and fostering trade between settlements. Innovations in tool efficiency, fire control, and basic engineering allow communities to thrive in harsher climates and expand into previously uninhabitable areas. Knowledge transfer accelerates across generations, and dense social networks enable collective problem-solving on a scale unprecedented in human history. Africa becomes a hub of continuous human innovation and resilience. By the end of this period, Africa has become a densely populated, interconnected continent of advanced early societies. Proto-cities, fortified villages, and trade hubs emerge across strategic regions. Knowledge of metallurgy, agriculture, and community organization is widespread. Humans have adapted to diverse environments, from deserts to dense forests, and have developed complex social, spiritual, and artistic systems. The continent now holds the entire trajectory of human development in one place, setting the stage for the continental Bronze Age. With concentrated knowledge, culture, and innovation, humanity is poised to advance faster and more cohesively than in any alternate timeline where migration dispersed populations. As humanity consolidates across Africa, trade networks expand like never before. River valleys and coastal regions become hubs of cultural exchange, connecting communities hundreds of miles apart. Shared knowledge allows rapid advancement in metallurgy, agriculture, and early engineering. Cities form with organized streets, storage facilities, and communal spaces. Writing emerges as a tool for record-keeping, communication, and storytelling. Leaders begin coordinating larger populations, balancing conflict resolution with resource allocation. Dense human networks allow discoveries to spread quickly, and innovations compound over generations. Africa becomes a continent-wide laboratory for human ingenuity, producing technologies centuries ahead of where scattered populations would have been. Population centers grow, supported by advanced farming techniques and surplus food production. Irrigation systems extend into arid regions, stabilizing crops and ensuring year-round yield. Specialization emerges as individuals focus on crafts, architecture, and early scientific observation. Social hierarchies evolve, but cooperation remains essential for survival. Trade routes flourish, exchanging tools, raw materials, art, and ideas. Early astronomical observations influence agricultural planning and religious practices. The continent becomes culturally cohesive while maintaining diverse regional identities. Humanity's innovations begin shaping Africa in profound ways, laying the foundation for monumental architecture, early governance systems, and proto-industrial workshops. Warfare, when it occurs, drives technological acceleration. Bronze weapons, shields, and defensive walls improve rapidly, while strategic alliances create stability across regions. Knowledge transfer is enhanced by oral histories, symbolic records, and shared cultural norms. Religious and spiritual systems intertwine with daily life, guiding societal ethics and community cohesion. Artistic expression reaches new heights with sculptures, carvings, and ritualistic performance marking achievements and commemorating history. Dense population networks also allow experimentation with social structures, education, and law. Africa's human population evolves into a uniquely unified, advanced civilization, entirely focused on internal development rather than external migration. cities grow into thriving metropolises, supported by agriculture, trade, and craft specialization. Marketplaces emerge as centers of commerce, negotiation, and cultural exchange. Knowledge of metallurgy spreads continent-wide, enabling construction of stronger tools, infrastructure, and ceremonial monuments. Education becomes systematic, with apprenticeships and mentorships ensuring skills pass efficiently across generations. Environmental management, including irrigation, deforestation control, and animal husbandry, enhances sustainability. Dense networks of communication and transportation facilitate continent-wide coordination, turning Africa into the sole center of human advancement. Competition between regions pushes innovation continuously forward. By 500 BCE, Africa has become a supercontinent of interconnected civilizations. Shared knowledge and technologies allow cities to thrive, rivers to support trade, and societies to maintain stability. Writing systems, proto-mathematics, and early sciences create an intellectual infrastructure unmatched anywhere else. The continent is culturally rich, technologically advanced, and socially complex, with dense networks linking distant settlements. Innovations in agriculture, metallurgy, governance, and art define this era. Africa emerges as the world's undisputed epicenter of human development, ready to enter the age of empires centuries ahead of where Europe and Asia would have developed in our historical timeline. Dense trade networks create early forms of economic specialization across regions. Certain settlements focus on metallurgy, others on agriculture, textiles, or art production. Knowledge spreads rapidly through apprenticeships and mentorships, allowing innovations to reach distant cities in years rather than centuries. River systems and coastal routes act as highways, connecting communities and enabling cultural cohesion. Rituals and festivals reinforce shared identity while allowing regional expression. Military knowledge also spreads through these networks, making defenses more sophisticated. Africa's population becomes highly organized, resilient, and innovative, capable of coordinating large projects and adapting quickly to environmental challenges. Religious and spiritual life intertwines with governance, education, and daily survival. Temples and ceremonial spaces act as both cultural and civic centers. Storytelling preserves history, law, and ethical guidance, providing continuity across generations. Scientific observation emerges as communities track stars, weather patterns, and ecological cycles to optimize agriculture and trade. Social hierarchies balance leadership with collective responsibilities, reducing internal conflict. Dense population hubs and regular inter-community interactions accelerate technological evolution. Africa's civilizations experience rapid cumulative progress, producing advanced infrastructure, early mathematics, astronomy, and urban planning centuries ahead of other continents in our timeline. Artistic expression thrives alongside practical innovation. Sculptures, carvings, and painted murals depict myth, history, and daily life, creating shared cultural memory. Symbolic writing begins to encode complex ideas, facilitating administration and knowledge transfer. Education formalizes within households and workshops, ensuring skills, innovations, and cultural practices pass to younger generations. Communities adapt creatively to environmental challenges, developing advanced farming techniques, water management, and durable construction. Dense networks and continuous innovation create feedback loops where progress compounds rapidly. By the end of this era, Africa is a cohesive civilization hub, technologically and culturally primed for the age of empires. Population density and social cohesion allow large-scale infrastructure projects, roads, bridges, irrigation systems, and fortified settlements spread across fertile valleys and trade corridors. Agricultural knowledge supports urban growth, while craft specialization drives economic and technological expansion. Warfare and competition between regional hubs promote strategic thinking, engineering, and logistical skills. Rituals, festivals, and artistic production flourish, reinforcing cultural identity and continuity. Knowledge of astronomy and natural cycles informs agriculture, architecture, and navigation. African societies grow interconnected and sophisticated, surpassing any civilization that developed in isolation or dispersed globally in our historical timeline. By 500 BCE, the continent has transformed into a single, interconnected supercivilization. Cities flourish along rivers and coasts, trade networks span thousands of miles, and shared knowledge accelerates technological and cultural evolution. Writing, mathematics, agriculture, and metallurgy reach unprecedented levels of sophistication. Political organization is structured yet flexible, supporting large populations and regional diversity. Dense social networks enable rapid problem-solving and innovation, making Africa the sole epicenter of human development. Humanity, concentrated in one continent, has achieved a level of progress that far outpaces any scattered populations elsewhere, setting the stage for the age of empires and continental dominance. With Africa as the single cradle of humanity, empires rise across the continent instead of spreading globally. Powerful states form along rivers, fertile plains, and strategic trade routes, competing for resources, prestige, and knowledge. Dense populations allow armies to be trained and supplied efficiently, while diplomacy and alliances reduce destructive conflicts. Advanced metallurgy and weaponry give empires an edge in both defense and expansion. Cultural exchange accelerates, spreading art, science, and language across vast distances. Religious, spiritual, and social systems intertwine with governance, creating cohesive societies capable of sustained innovation. The continent thrives under a continuous cycle of competition and cooperation. Trade and communication networks stretch across thousands of miles, connecting city-states, fortresses, and ceremonial centers. Long-distance commerce encourages standardization of weights, measures, and currencies. Scholars and artisans travel widely, spreading knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and medicine. Education becomes formalized in elite centers, ensuring that skills, technology, and culture are preserved and enhanced. Military innovations emerge from inter-empire rivalries, promoting early engineering feats in fortifications, siegecraft, and logistics. Africa's population density and cultural cohesion accelerate technological and societal progress far beyond what any single region in our timeline could achieve independently. Megacities develop along rivers and coasts, becoming hubs of administration, commerce, and culture. Sophisticated urban planning emerges, with streets, public spaces, and infrastructure designed to sustain dense populations. Agricultural advances support city growth, including crop rotation, irrigation, and selective breeding of plants and animals. Cultural achievements flourish in art, literature, music, and ceremonial architecture. Writing systems evolve into complex scripts, enabling precise record-keeping, historical chronicles, and codified law. African empires maintain cohesion through governance, religion, and shared cultural practices, creating a continent-wide identity that binds millions across diverse environments and regions. Inter-empire interactions drive innovation and progress. Alliances, trade agreements, and strategic marriages strengthen political stability while stimulating economic growth. Warfare, when necessary, is precise and organized, fostering technological advancement in weapons, logistics, and military strategy. Knowledge of astronomy informs navigation, agriculture, and architecture. Artistic and cultural achievements reflect both religious devotion and civic pride, cementing collective memory and identity. Dense social networks enable rapid dissemination of new ideas, allowing breakthroughs in science, mathematics, and engineering to reach multiple regions quickly. Africa becomes a model of sustained, continent-wide human advancement. By 1500 CE, Africa has matured into a single continent spanning civilization of unparalleled sophistication. Trade, communication, and governance systems are integrated across thousands of miles. Knowledge of agriculture, metallurgy, urban planning, and medicine has reached heights that would take isolated societies centuries longer to achieve. Cultural cohesion allows innovation to accumulate rapidly, and collective intelligence drives strategic planning and societal resilience. Empires grow and evolve without external interference, and human advancement is concentrated in one supercontinent. Africa stands as the sole engine of human development, setting the stage for the industrial acceleration centuries ahead. As empires expand across the continent, infrastructure and logistics reach unprecedented sophistication. Roads and river networks link distant cities, enabling rapid movement of goods, armies, and scholars. Agricultural innovations allow dense urban populations to flourish without famine, while surplus resources fund artisans, architects, and engineers. Administrative systems become complex, with taxation, census-taking, and record-keeping ensuring stability and efficiency. Education spreads among elites and skilled workers, fostering a class of knowledgeable individuals capable of innovation and problem-solving. Trade networks connect resource-rich regions with cultural hubs, promoting the spread of ideas, technology, and cultural practices across thousands of miles. Scientific observation accelerates as scholars monitor celestial events, seasonal patterns, and environmental changes to improve agriculture, navigation, and city planning. Early forms of mathematics, engineering, and astronomy emerge as practical disciplines applied to urban construction, irrigation systems, and large-scale architecture. Military science advances alongside infrastructure, producing disciplined armies with sophisticated strategies and technologies. Art and culture flourish simultaneously. Monumental architecture, sculptures, literature, and music reflect both spiritual and civic achievements. Dense interconnections between cities allow knowledge to diffuse quickly, so that every innovation has continent-wide impact, creating a continuous cycle of advancement unseen in our historical timeline. Trade and diplomacy drive internal stability, with alliances, federations, and treaties, reducing destructive conflict while promoting cooperative growth. Religious institutions guide ethical and social behavior while reinforcing shared identity. Cultural exchange spreads artistic styles, philosophical ideas, and technological techniques across regions. Markets thrive as centers of commerce, innovation, and social interaction. Population centers diversify into specialized zones for manufacturing, education, administration, and ceremonial activity. Knowledge of metallurgy, agriculture, and governance is standardized, enabling further growth. Africa emerges as a unified yet diverse supercontinent, technologically, culturally, and socially dominant, with a civilization capable of planning and executing large-scale continental projects. By the late Middle Ages, African empires have achieved an unparalleled balance of power, culture, and technology. Cities are fortified, agricultural productivity supports urban growth, and trade networks reach every habitable region. Governance structures are highly advanced, combining centralized authority with local autonomy. Education and apprenticeship programs ensure the continuity of specialized knowledge. Art, literature, and architecture flourish alongside practical innovations. Dense population networks foster collaboration and competition, driving innovation across the continent. African civilizations have become highly organized, resilient, and inventive, preparing the stage for the accelerated industrial and technological growth that will define the next era. By 1500 CE, Africa stands as the world's single cradle of civilization, controlling the entirety of humanity's knowledge, culture, and innovation. Military, political, and social systems are sophisticated, infrastructure spans thousands of miles, and trade networks flourish across fertile valleys, rivers, and coasts. Writing, mathematics, and astronomy have reached levels of complexity unmatched elsewhere. Dense urban centers function as hubs of governance, commerce, and culture, while education ensures the transfer of knowledge across generations. Africa has become a continent-wide super-civilization, united yet diverse, poised to enter an industrial acceleration centuries ahead of Europe or Asia. Humanity, concentrated and interconnected, prepares to shape the future from one powerful epicenter. By the height of the unified African empire, curiosity had become its greatest engine of progress. Scholars no longer debated whether the world held secrets. They debated how far those secrets extended. Along the empire's western coast, fishermen returned with stories of strange driftwood carved by tools unlike any known in Africa, and seabirds with unfamiliar patterns appeared during certain seasons. These small mysteries ignited a movement inside the imperial academies. If the empire had mastered land, language, trade, astronomy, and navigation, then the final frontier remaining was the massive expanse of water stretching endlessly toward the horizon. Many believed that beyond that shimmering border lay untouched lands, new knowledge, maybe even entire continents waiting to be revealed. And in a civilization built on relentless advancement, turning away from possibility was unthinkable. Driven by ambition, the empire constructed the largest shipyards in its history along the Atlantic coast. Engineers designed vessels with reinforced prows to cut through unpredictable currents, while astronomers developed new star maps that tracked constellations rarely used by sailors before. The emperor created a special exploratory council, granting them unlimited resources and authority to plan a transoceanic journey unlike anything attempted in human history. On departure day, thousands of citizens filled the docks, watching artisans carve final protective symbols into the wood of the ships. Some spectators prayed for the sailors' safe return. Others whispered about sea spirits guarding the horizon. But everyone understood the magnitude of the moment. This wasn't just an expedition. It was a statement that the Empire refused to let fear or distance define the limits of human achievement. When the fleet finally left the harbor, optimism filled every deck. The wind carried them smoothly westward, guiding the ships across calm waves, lit by the golden glow of the setting sun. For the first few days, progress exceeded all expectations. Clear skies, predictable currents, and stars bright enough to navigate flawlessly. Morale soared. Scholars excitedly documented every unusual cloud formation or shift in the water, believing they were on the verge of historical discovery. But the deeper they ventured, the more the ocean began to change. The winds grew inconsistent, shifting directions without warning. Waves rose and fell with unsettling rhythm. At night, a dense fog blurred the sky, hiding the constellations that had guided sailors for generations. Slowly, unease spread among the crew, not from danger itself, but from the growing sense that they were moving beyond the world they understood. As days stretched into weeks, anxiety turned into genuine fear. Not because of storms or enemies, those were challenges the Empire knew how to face, but because of the oppressive emptiness surrounding them. No birds, no land, no signs of life except the endless crash of water against the hull. Some sailors whispered that they had sailed too far from the ancestors' reach, that the ocean was swallowing the very guidance that had protected their people for centuries. Even the most confident captains struggled with doubt. They feared not failure, but the possibility that they might lead their entire fleet into an irreversible abyss. The unknown wasn't simply intimidating, it felt infinite. And for the first time in generations, the Empire faced a force that could not be negotiated with, conquered, or understood. Eventually, the Imperial Council gathered aboard the flagship under flickering lantern light. They weighed every factor, dwindling morale, fading navigational certainty, and the psychological toll of the unending horizon. Their decision was heavy, but unanimous turn back, preserve the fleet, and protect the Empire. The voyage home was silent. No songs, no celebrations, just the sound of weary men grappling with the realization that they had come closer than any civilization before them to discovering an entire world across the ocean. Yet fear had stopped them. They had not lacked technology, courage, or intelligence. They lacked assurance that humanity was meant to cross that void at this point in history. When they returned, the Empire honored their bravery, but the story of the great crossing that never happened became a reminder of a truth that shaped the world forever. Destiny sometimes hinges on a single moment of hesitation. Back on the coast, the Empire focused on reflection and documentation. Scholars compiled every detail of the journey, from ship designs to navigational calculations, ensuring no knowledge would be lost. Artists painted murals of the fleet disappearing into the horizon, capturing the tension between courage and caution. Philosophers debated whether turning back was cowardice or wisdom, discussing the role of fear in shaping human destiny. Even children grew up hearing stories of the fleet that almost crossed the ocean, fueling imaginations and teaching that ambition must be balanced with prudence. The event became a cornerstone of the Empire's collective identity, reinforcing the idea that greatness comes not only from what is achieved, but also from what is wisely avoided. Despite never reaching new lands, the Empire's technological and cultural momentum continued to accelerate. Shipbuilding and navigation skills improved, inspired by the brief exposure to the open ocean. Trade networks expanded along the African coasts, connecting distant cities with unprecedented efficiency. Military strategy and logistics benefited from lessons learned on long-distance coordination and fleet management. Philosophical schools emphasized adaptability, risk assessment, and the value of collective decision-making. The near crossing inspired a generation of scholars, engineers, and explorers who realized that while humanity could almost reach the unknown, understanding when to retreat was as crucial as knowing how to advance. As decades passed, rumors of distant lands persisted, carried on currents and in the memories of returning sailors. The Empire's leaders debated sending expeditions again, but were haunted by the psychological toll of the first attempt. The possibility of the Americas remained tantalizingly close, a continent just beyond reach. Technological innovation, stronger hulls, improved sails, better navigational tools were ready, yet caution prevailed. Philosophers and elders emphasized stability over reckless expansion. The decision to delay further exploration shaped Africa's destiny. The continent would remain the uncontested center of human civilization, preserving knowledge, resources, and population density that would allow it to dominate global progress, even if the world beyond remained largely unknown. The Great Crossing that never happened became a legend, a story blending triumph, caution, and what if. It symbolized humanity's eternal curiosity balanced by survival instinct. Young apprentices studied the stars, winds, and currents, as if learning from ghosts of the fleet that sailed too far. Artisans reproduced detailed maps, astronomers calculated hypothetical trajectories, and storytellers crafted epics of potential continents waiting to be discovered. Africa's super-civilization entered a period of introspection, focusing energy on consolidating power, advancing science, and perfecting governance. The near discovery of new worlds inspired creative thought while reinforcing the belief that human advancement must be both bold and measured, a lesson that would guide the empire for centuries. By 1500 CE, Africa remained the uncontested center of humanity. Its people culturally, technologically, and politically advanced beyond any other civilization. The story of the near crossing served as a cautionary tale and a source of pride, symbolizing ambition tempered by wisdom. While the Americas remained undiscovered, Africa's population, trade, education, and science flourished, accelerating development at a rate unparalleled in human history. Civilization reached heights that would have seemed impossible elsewhere. Humanity was concentrated in one supercontinent, shaping the future from a single powerful epicenter. The fleet's retreat ensured survival, continuity, and the ability to dominate global progress when the wider world would eventually be encountered. After centuries of continental unity and unmatched technological progress, Africa enters the modern era, 1500 CE onward, as the undisputed center of human advancement. Cities have grown into sprawling metropolises connected by complex transport and communication networks. Science, medicine, and engineering thrive at a scale unparalleled elsewhere. Scholars document natural phenomena, design advanced infrastructure, and refine governance to maintain order across vast populations. The empire balances innovation with caution, learning from past near disasters such as the Great Crossing. While the rest of the world develops slowly, isolated from Africa's concentrated knowledge, the continent explores new possibilities in astronomy, physics, and navigation, setting the stage for industrial breakthroughs centuries ahead of our timeline. When? By the 1700s, Africa's industrial revolution begins, powered by an abundance of natural resources and a highly educated population. Massive factories, energy grids, and transportation systems emerge. But development is guided by careful planning rather than reckless expansion. Citizens benefit from universal education and healthcare, allowing sustained innovation and social stability. Urban centers grow even more sophisticated, combining monumental architecture with practical infrastructure. Africans look outward with curiosity, but rarely attempt distant voyages. History has taught them the value of calculated risk. Advanced mathematics, engineering, and experimental science flourish, creating an intellectual environment unmatched anywhere in the world. Africa is not just surviving, it is shaping the very blueprint of human civilization. As the 19th century unfolds, Africa dominates global knowledge and culture. Its fleets traverse known oceans with precision, trade networks span continents, and scientific academies rival anything imagined elsewhere. Explorers occasionally chart distant lands, but fear of the unknown and respect for stability restrain reckless conquest. Societies emphasize ethics, strategic decision-making, and sustainability, blending wisdom with curiosity. Art, literature, and music flourish alongside technological innovation, creating a civilization rich in both intellect and culture. Africans lead in medicine, energy, and communications, creating an interconnected world centered on one supercontinent. Humanity's trajectory is no longer accidental. It is consciously guided by the continent that never faltered in ambition or prudence. By the 20th century, Africa has achieved space exploration, advanced computing, and global communication, centuries ahead of any alternative timeline. The legacy of the Great Crossing that never happened influences every venture. The Empire respects the power of the unknown while striving to master it responsibly. Mega-cities float along coasts and rivers, powered by clean energy and sophisticated urban planning. Scholars, engineers, and leaders collaborate across the continent, sharing knowledge instantaneously. While other regions lag behind, Africa pioneers medicine, biotechnology, and environmental stewardship. Its people thrive, combining technological might with cultural cohesion, ensuring that progress benefits both society and the environment. Africa has become the center of human civilization, dictating the pace and direction of history. Looking toward 2100, Africa's vision is global and interstellar. The continent balances exploration, colonization, and diplomacy with wisdom earned over millennia. Humans live in harmony with technology, society, and nature, creating thriving ecosystems both on Earth and in orbital colonies. The knowledge accumulated since 500 BCE allows the Empire to plan centuries ahead, reducing conflict and maximizing innovation. Africa has transformed from the cradle of humanity into a blueprint for survival, resilience, and ingenuity. Citizens celebrate their history while pushing boundaries responsibly. Humanity's story, once fragmented across continents, has been concentrated and guided by one super-civilization, proving that knowledge, courage, and caution together can shape a future beyond imagination. By the mid-21st century, Africa has achieved near-total mastery over energy, climate management, and artificial intelligence. Megacities pulse with life, combining vertical farming, self-sustaining ecosystems, and high-speed transportation. Education and innovation are universal, ensuring every citizen contributes to civilization's advancement. Africa leads intercontinental trade, space exploration, and environmental restoration. Historical lessons, like the Great Crossing that never happened, guide every decision. Humans now push boundaries, but with unparalleled foresight. The continent's influence shapes global policy, technology, and ethics. Humanity is no longer scattered or reactive. It moves deliberately, guided by accumulated knowledge and strategic vision that stretches centuries into the future. Exploration beyond Earth begins in earnest. Orbital colonies, lunar bases, and Mars settlements are designed and operated by African engineers, guided by centuries of accumulated knowledge and disciplined planning. Space travel is approached not as conquest but as stewardship, ensuring sustainability and survival. Lessons from historical near-misses teach planners to balance ambition with caution. Advanced AI predicts environmental and societal outcomes, allowing humanity to expand without catastrophic risk. Africans become the central architects of humanity's interstellar future, using science, technology, and culture to shape the universe responsibly. Every decision is informed by a deep awareness of history, showing that foresight can prevent disaster and accelerate progress simultaneously. By 2080, Africa's influence is universal. Culture, language, technology, and governance converge to form a cohesive global framework underpinned by African innovation. The continent pioneers biotechnology, climate engineering, and sustainable energy at a level no other civilization has reached. Education ensures ethical leadership, and historical understanding guides both policy and exploration. Humanity thrives, interconnected across Earth and orbital colonies, with urban centers optimized for efficiency, health, and creativity. Africa's centuries of cautious ambition allow humans to expand without repeating mistakes, ensuring that exploration, invention, and diplomacy remain balanced. Civilization has matured into a deliberate, intelligent force, shaping its destiny. As 2100 approaches, Africa's story becomes a symbol of humanity's potential. Centuries of accumulated wisdom, technological mastery, and disciplined exploration have produced a society capable of guiding the species safely through complex challenges. Space stations orbit the planet, lunar colonies thrive, and Mars sees early settlement. Ethical AI, sustainable engineering, and environmental stewardship ensure that expansion does not come at the cost of survival. Africa's leadership is both moral and practical, a unifying force in a world once fragmented. Humans now operate on scales previously unimaginable, shaping planets, economies, and ecosystems with precision. Every step forward reflects centuries of learning from past successes, near misses, and disciplined ambition. By 2100, humanity, concentrated and guided by the African supercivilization, stands at the threshold of becoming a multi-planetary species. Every technological advancement, societal system, and cultural achievement is built upon lessons learned since 500 BCE. The Great Crossing that never happened echoes as a metaphor. Sometimes, the wisest course is caution combined with foresight. Africa's people, alive in cities both on Earth and in space, continue to push boundaries responsibly. Humanity thrives, exploring the universe not recklessly, but with vision, patience, and strategy. This concentrated civilization proves that knowledge, courage, and careful planning together can shape a future beyond imagination, ensuring survival innovation, and prosperity for generations to come. After centuries of concentrated growth, innovation, and careful ambition, Africa became the epicenter of humanity, shaping the course of civilization from 500 BCE to 2100 CE. The continent avoided disasters, learned from near misses like the Great Crossing that never happened, and leveraged knowledge to thrive both on Earth and in space. This story reminds us that boldness must be balanced with foresight, that ambition without wisdom can falter, and that sometimes the greatest power lies in knowing when to advance and when to pause. Humanity's future isn't determined by chance. It's shaped by every decision we make, every risk we calculate, and every lesson we carry forward. If you could decide one pivotal moment in history to change, would you risk everything for progress? Or would you play it safe like the African empire at the edge of the unknown? How far would you go to shape the future?